We've got one viewer. What's up, Rare Breed Humble? What is good? All right, he just started live on YouTube. Gonna give it a second for some people maybe to catch on. What is up, everybody? The THC OG. Real OG in the building. What's up, buddy? How are you? Trying to see if we can get a couple of people on YouTube. All right, I have at least one person watching on YouTube. So maybe I can get started. I know this video will live in the universe forever. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick live. Yesterday's was really great. I think we've had like 1,000 views in 24 hours on a live that wasn't announced, that didn't have any guests, just me ranting. So yeah, I figured I'd do it again. What is up from Staten Island? Alan, go get me some Brothers Pizza. Sicilian pie. It's got to be a fresh pie. You can't get the slices that are there. You got to buy a whole pie. And then eat some for me and let me know if it's still as good as it used to be. Anyway, I want to keep this brief today. But I did want to talk to you guys about Stockholm Syndrome, Instagram, and what the solution is. Maybe it's not a solution, but something that I think we need to do is start building a community, someplace where we are wanted. And, I'll just cut to the chase. That's Overgrow, the forum Overgrow. Go online to overgrow.com. And so, it's pretty funny. Not funny, pretty sad, really. But all my Instagram accounts got taken down. This is the only account that got left, the Craft Growers. And it's not because it's cleaner than the other accounts. It's because I paid for meta verification. I'm giving them money every month. I'm sure if I, was really outrageous and broke the rules, they'd take that away too. I don't think that meta verification stops it, but, they took away all my accounts. And I had accounts that had nothing on them, had their own email addresses. And they said these accounts were associated with another account that was breaking the rules. So, like I said, they took everything down. They took down my personal Facebook, which was really clean. So, it had me thinking about something that Lou from Gene Traders said. He was, I'm reading your comment, the THC. Anyway, I got distracted. So, Lou from Gene Traders. He said that the relationship that we have with Instagram is relative to Stockholm Syndrome, which is when you love and can't be without your abuser. And, Instagram, they don't want us here. That's the reality. They don't. They don't even want our money. They just keep on taking away people's accounts and, like Alpenglow says, slowly censoring everyone. And, that's the way I feel about it too. The policies on Instagram, one of the most outrageous policies is you're not allowed to talk positively about the plant. Okay, if you say something positive about the plant, that's against the terms and conditions. So, if the plant has saved your life or improved your life, you're not allowed to say that, without them taking down your account. What is up, Louis Farmstrong? Hey, everybody, just so you know, Louis has been a tremendous supporter of me, and he made me the keychains and stickers and the designs for the shirts, and he does some pretty funny stuff with AI and really quick. Reach out to him if you need some help with that stuff. He's really helped me, and I appreciate him. So anyway, getting back to the Stockholm Syndrome, as long as we let it, they're going to keep doing it to us. As long as we bend over, they're going to keep sticking it to us. And, after my accounts have been closed, and I'm talking about like my main accounts that I really use to generate interest for my business. I haven't made a new one. I've been thinking about it, but I'm like, well, I'm just going to put all this effort into it and they're going to take it down. And what's the point? Like I'd rather start going live on YouTube. I'd rather start going on Overgrow and other places where I feel like, my stuff isn't going to get taken down so easily. And so, after my Instas got taken down the first time, or not the first time, but like the first big scare I had, a couple of weeks ago, I was on vacation and like they closed all my accounts. I did ask for a review. They gave them back, but then they took them all away and said that it's permanent. I'm not getting them back. But, somebody mentioned to me to go on to Overgrow and I checked it out. And to be honest with you, I've never like done the forum thing. I didn't go on Overgrow or ICMag or any of these other forums back in the day when it was the way to do it, right? And now Instagram's really been the way to do it. So I never really got onto Overgrow. And when my Insta got taken down and I went to Overgrow and set up an account, I realized, what? People actually want me here. And this is a place of like-minded individuals that are trying to build a community for cannabis. Let's see if that gets me thrown off. The plant that we love. So I want to encourage everybody. The goal of this video is to say, look, go to Overgrow, check it out, overgrow.com, right? And there's no cost to, lurk, there. But I do highly suggest that, it costs $10 a month or $100 a year to be like a Patreon supporter. And, if you do that, we can assure that they're going to stick around and that this platform is going to get better. So I'm a supporter. I'm going to do, they let you be a sponsor as well, for some added stuff. I'm going to do whatever I can to, encourage people to please go to overgrow.com, set up an account, send me a message on Overgrow, and I'll show you where my stuff is. And, it's pretty cool. Now, is it Instagram? No, it's not Instagram. Instagram has way more users. It's way more user-friendly. But like I said, they aren't going to take the stuff down. So that was my pitch for today. Everyone go to Overgrow, and then I'll read some of your questions before I let you go. Yeah, Overgrow went away, and now it's back. Master Gaff. Check them out, please. What's up from Niagara Falls? Love from Pennsylvania, Ohio, Chicago. Chicago style pizza, bro. Well, tavern style, what is that? The thin crust? Because I don't like deep dish from Chicago. It's just like super oily. A Sicilian pie in New York, particularly Staten Island, the bottom of the crust isn't super greasy like that. So that's why I like the Sicilian pie. I live in Sweden, so I know about Stockholm Syndrome. I appreciate you all. And, just to be clear, YouTube, they could change their policy and, take us off soon too. So I'm trying to figure, that's why I think Overgrow is a solution. Someone says you don't suspect someone from reporting all your stuff. I got all those vibes, that dude, he's going to make your life a hell or something. I don't believe that my last problems with Instagram were related to anyone. I think they actually said that these accounts were related to my account that got deleted like 9 months ago. So I don't know. And, one thing I said before, and I'll say it again, whether it was him or anyone else, let's not respond to this. As far as like, I don't want anyone going and reporting his account or anybody's account. I think that's just bad. and I don't think we should be reporting anyone. Genetic memory farms, it is what it is. If you don't like it, then don't do it. That's where I set things. I want to try some of that Chicago thin crust that's cut in squares. I've heard about it, but I've never had that myself. I'm enjoying doing the lives, Genetic Monkey. Thank you for that. We're going to do both lives and pre-recorded. Next week on Monday, my buddy Nick Wolf, he's going to be doing a live. He's looking for people that want to join him and talk about our favorite plant. So if you're interested in that, reach out to him on Instagram at Mr. Wolf Grows, but there's an E at the, it's Wolfie, Wolfe. It said, it only said that because you're tagging those new accounts on that one that's already shadow banned. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how to handle this Instagram stuff. I'm just like trying to find a new place, Yeah. The terms of service, like that's the thing. It's very hard to not break the terms of service and get any benefit from Instagram. So, yo, Bobby Sonic, nice to see you here. And let me see on Instagram. Any insight on seed sales becoming illegal? I don't think that's happening yet. And even if it did, I think it'd be very hard for them to enforce that. I have never used Build-A-Soil products, and I'm not an organic grower indoors. I don't think that's the way to do it, to be honest with you. I believe organic growing is amazing, but outside in the ground. So I don't have a comment on Build-A-Soil, but I know a lot of people use it. You have to say honey instead of the other two. Andy, I'm hungry too, bro. Let's get some pizza. Any more questions before I cut it short? I just wanted to make a quick video. Okay, so how about we comment in the chat? How many of you are part of Overgrow, and how many of you are willing to go to Overgrow right now and set up an account? It's free. I do recommend to everybody to make the donation on their Patreon, because it's going to, first of all, you get more features. You get the ability to do more. But also, like, you're supporting, this forum that, if not, it could just disappear. So if we're going to keep it going, what we need to do is get them more users and then support them with the Patreon. Thank you, Ferdy. I appreciate you. I have a Discord. Don't really use it that much, but we do have a Discord for Craft Growers Network. I'm going to make one for Gabby Staten Island. But that's right, Overgrow the world. Like I said, even Discord, there's rules, against talking about the plant and doing business. Like, we can talk about business on Overgrow. Can't do that on Discord. Discord, they're going to want to sell that stuff if it hasn't been sold already, and so they're trying to crack down on the rules a little bit, I think, there too. So, I'm not Bodie, and I don't have access to his stuff. Exactly, Golden Coast. Why not ask Bodie for his stuff? When are you going on the first smoke of the day? I have not been invited on the first smoke of the day. If they invited me, I'd try to make it work. They do only do it like in studio. It's in LA, so it's not too far. But yeah, I haven't been invited. What you should do is ask them why they haven't invited me. So, any other questions before I let you guys go? I'll give it another couple minutes. Then I'm going to go take care of some plants. Alrighty. Well, again, everybody go to overgrow.com. Okay. So why do you think organics doesn't work indoors? And how do we know Overgrow won't just sell our data, etc., like every other site? Seems like they need to pledge to protect. Well, you know what? Go on Overgrow, and before you post anything that you feel needs protected, ask them that question. I haven't asked the question. It is a good question. I definitely appreciate that, but it doesn't seem like it's currently their business model. So that's why they're doing the Patreons. So I don't know. I think organics, it's not that it doesn't work, but I think it's very difficult to achieve your genetic potential when you dump a bunch of organic matter in a container and expect things to happen in a couple of months. That's the biggest thing. You can get your plants to grow, but are you going to get the best quality product that way? I don't think so. Then as far as like when people do living soil and beds, it's pretty much the same thing. They've got a bed that they fill up with a whole bunch of organic material, and it's breaking down. You don't have very much control of what's going on here, and so for me that's a problem. Another problem with living soil or raised beds that you don't remove is it's really hard to control pests when you're not cleaning out the room every time. And in my indoor gardens, I want to be able to like take everything out, sanitize everything before I put plants in. So there's that. Thanks, Golden Coast. What's my favorite dead show of all time? If you're talking about favorite dead show that I went to, it was 10/16/89, and that was not the Dark Star breakout, but it was the next show after they did the Warlock shows. Me and my friends went there, and I think I told the story in the last podcast about the security there. My buddy said, "I'm so high, there's nothing you could do to get me down." And they said, "One punch," and then we just got in the cars and drove, in not the best condition, because literally they killed somebody. The security killed somebody at those shows. It's crazy. I agree. Combination of organics and bottles of fertilizer, mineral fertilizer is the way. I do mostly the mineral fertilizers and then add a little organics to it, stuff like kelp. Anyway, guys, I don't have a lot of time to do the live today, but it went so well yesterday. The first thing I wanted to do is thank everybody for doing it. I do want to do it more often. I also I have a new show that I want to do called The Way We Heal. I already have the website for that, and I want to interview people where the plant has saved their life. And I know it's risky. We have that conversation. That's like against terms of service, but I'm willing to take the chance on this one. I looked on YouTube, and there's very few videos. If you search "the plant saved my life," there's very few videos, and they don't have a lot of views. And I think that if we put it on our network, because we already have some following, we could get more exposure for how this plant is medicine. Peace pizza it is, LOL. Alrighty, everybody. I know this is a short one, but I am going to try to do it regularly. And one last time, please everyone go to overgrow.com, set up an account, ask questions about the privacy and what the plan is if they'll ever sell our media or information or any of that stuff. That's an excellent question. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.